Hey there, Jake. Welcome. Yes, basically, yes. Canadian Caesar ran out of bailout money. Largely, the issue was we burnt through all of our starting capital, and then our operating costs were about three times our revenue. So we built a very expensive metro system that made no money. Um, Much like most metro systems. Yes, Hopper, happy Father's Day times two to you as well, Chumro. Um, so no, I did actually have the money for the rails, for the trains. The bigger problem though was that we weren't actually making any money. Well, I built the large rail network. Let's pause that timer. But then the cost of running the network ended up being more than like far more than we were generating in revenue. So let's pin. So we know where the workers are. Workers are here, and then a little bit here. Well, here and here. Well, there's a few workers down around here. Where do your workers come from? All over the freaking place. Hmm. Yeah, doing and so yesterday we came up with the Happy Dude plan. So I'll quickly demonstrate the Happy Dude plan. So the Happy Dude plan is we'll have a line that kind of runs like so, and maybe it comes all the way out to here, and then we have another line that comes down like here. We got a little branch that goes there. Have a little. Give me back my worker stats, please. My resident locations, please. Have a little shoot that comes out like that. Oops. I'll undo that. And then, obviously we're gonna come up into Gatineau here, and we got our Happy Dude. So this is the Happy Dude plan for the Ottawa metro system. I guess the upper part could color differently since it's more for completing the cosmetics. Here we go. That's the that's the cosmetic part of the Happy Dude plan. All of the rest of this is the very important bits of the rough transit plan. Um, Keep the resident stuff visible. We'll pin that so we can see where the people live. I think I actually wanted it to come through here, maybe. But Kaladin made an interesting point last time, which is that the big time savings and cost savings for people is probably like way out in these burbs, and possibly the far reaches of Gatineau. Um, so maybe I should focus on finding ways to bring these people downtown to where all the work is. We might chop off this guy's leg, this little burrow over here. I don't even know what this area is called. I had no idea there were people living over here. What is that neighborhood called? Go check Google Maps. Oh, that's where Finley Creek is. Okay, so that's Finley Creek. There you go. All right, so this is the important suburb of Finley Creek. This is Barrhaven. This is Canada. This is Carp. There's Carp even further away. Carp might be even further away. This might be Carp. Ian. No, that's just all Canada. Okay. So this is just Canada. Although I think Carp. Oh yeah, okay. So Carp is this scattering of houses here. That's Carp. Okay. And then out east is Orleans. This is Gatineau, or Gatineau proper. That we can give everyone a geography lesson. This is Hull. This is Le Plateau, which is a new neighborhood. It never got to be a city of its own. And this is Elmer over here. Also, deep barren lore. This is where I grew up. I grew up in this neighborhood, in this borough of Ottawa. Yeah, so how are we going to bring all these scattered dots? Got Rockland further east of Orleans. Yeah, that's true. Further east of Orleans. This area? Is this Rockland? Yeah, Clarence Rockland. Yeah, it's not a bad, there's a few people in there. Otherwise, it's random scattered houses. Yeah, not really much else around here. Oh, there's a little cluster around here. What's this cluster? Who is that? Carlton Place. That's Carlton Place. There you go. Right. Anyway, back enough talking about Ottawa geography. Galadin said something that I thought was extremely funny the other day, that he now knows more about Ottawa's boroughs than he ever wanted to. Uh, the secret plot of the stream. Yeah, it's true. And it also runs through some of the core areas of Ottawa. And this stretch in here, we could even have we could even have a good chunk of this be at grade and save quite a bit of money. Now the other question is, do I do light rail or heavy metro? Because odds are We aren't going to need the capacity. Max acceleration. Oh, I never realized you can just toggle between them. That's nice. Okay. Capacity per car is quite nice. Car cost 2.7 million. Base track cost is 30,000. Base cost of a cut and cover double track station. Okay. And then light metro. Wait, what? The track costs more for light metro? Yeah, 35K base track cost, 30K for base track cost for heavy metro. This doesn't seem right at all, no. Station costs are 50 million. Slightly more expensive station cost on the heavy metro. Commuter rail has the cheapest track. Operational cost per hour 180 and 20. What about heavy metro? Okay. The operational costs are a lot higher on the heavy metro. So seeing as we had a revenue and cost problem, we definitely didn't have a capacity problem at like any point. Um, Maybe we shouldn't worry about little things like actual capacity. So then the question is, how do we get this blob into something that looks reasonable? And the highway gives us a nice easy like a nice easy track in. Could also use Montreal Road. Is this Montreal Road? No, this is Ennis. Like yeah, maybe a swoopy diagonal. Start around here. I don't know what I'm doing to do that. That's weird. Did I just build things? I did build things. Okay. Maybe yeah, because okay, let's get rid of that and that. Something like this that then follows the highway? Or do I even do like two little feeder lines that like come through to a main line that goes into the city. So clear all those blueprints. No, I didn't want to build that. Oh, we just spent $1 billion there. We'll have to restart the game. This game is still early access, so it's got some quirks. It's not even available on Steam. The ability to build a metro system in your own city is just like too much to resist. It's just too cool. Is this game mini metro but not mini? I mean, you're building a like a metro system. What's cool about it is you can import like real world maps and populate it with real world stats, like statistics about living places of residence and so on. So you get a very true representation of the city, which is pretty cool. Maybe Mini Metro does that. I don't know, but I don't know. I just think it's really neat to be able to build. It's not a city builder; it's a metro builder. The city has been built, and it is our job to bring the people to where there is work. Uh, and I'm currently figuring out how to do that. So this is all these dots represent where people live in Ottawa, and this represents where the work is in Ottawa. So all the work is downtown, with a few little scattered places of major employment. Um, so I need to bring all these people to like here, and a few of them over here, and maybe to the airport. City exists, much to my dismay. Yes. Well, we must make the city work somehow. So, I think we'll stick with light rail. How do you actually commute in Ottawa? So most of the public transit is buses, but there is a light rail. So the true light rail runs through here, swings up here-ish, and then comes out to about here, and will soon be expanded out to here-ish. And actually this part extends out to here, and then there's an expansion under construction out to about here, I believe. And then there's a north-south line, which runs. Actually, I think it runs to about there, and then there's a. Could you delete, please? No? Okay. Cycling is very feasible in Ottawa. Ottawa actually has a really excellent network of bike paths, um, thanks to partly thanks to a federal agency that is mostly responsible for beautifying Ottawa. But they've built, and a accidental side benefit is made uh, they've made some really nice bike paths. So there's bike paths all along this river here, bike paths on either side of the canal, bike paths up this way, there's bike paths all along the river, and then a lot of the city streets downtown. Uh, there's there's some pretty good like dedicated bike lanes and stuff throughout the core. Now the problem is a lot of people live like all the way out here or over here or over here. Um, so it's quite a long bike to where all the jobs are downtown. And if you living in this sort of inner core, so this area here is very expensive. So biking is can be a challenge. Although my father, who lives in this area over here, and used to work around here, used to bike to work every day, and that was about an hour each way, I think, for him. Um, but eventually he stopped because some stretches did not have good bike paths, and it was a bit dangerous on the roads. Um, I usually take the bus or walk to work. I'm sort of it takes me about an hour to walk to work. Um, no, he would take this bridge over here, which has very good bike paths on either side of the bridge. The bridges don't stand out super well, but yeah, this is one of the bridges from Gatineau to Ottawa. Right. But that's not what we were talking about. We're talking about trying to build a metro system that that both works and makes money. So we could do elevated light rail, um, which is slightly cheaper than doing cut and cover. Huh. Elevated light rail costs the same no matter what. Can this... Oh, this is a station, not... Okay, but even at plus 20, you're not getting over houses. Hmm. Does the station... So the station also gets a reduced cost. So probably elevated light rail is going to be... Oh, I somehow... Yeah, clear away any blueprints while I was doing stuff. Yeah, well, that's the thing, eh? Like, if you found a... You have a walkable place to live, then you end up paying for it other ways. So something that comes through here, maybe part of the problem is Orleans is a horrible suburb land, so it has all these roads that aren't really meant to be traveled through. So if you want to get to the real public area, or the places where people live, it's tricky. But this might be... Close the construction here. Something like this might work. And then we could do another route kind of like so. And we follow the highway out. Okay. Oh yeah, the NIMBYs fighting any and all improvement to your transit system. Uh, Not being modeled is the most unrealistic thing about the game. Mm, okay, this is a shockingly straight road here. So let's check where we're going. Here. Isn't this Plastolines here, Chumru? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Plastolines. Maybe we could even have a little connector route. Yeah, we'll for sure have a stop at Plastolines. Um, all right, so you keep coming up this way. Mm, okay, we have to get a little creative in here. Yeah, we can get quad tracks. Just build a metro stop right between these people's houses. Surely there would be no opposition to this. Train run right through their backyard. Okay, and then we just come up here. This would be great for property values, indeed. Yeah, that's my thought too. Uh, it's just gonna be a little curvy in here, but you know, as I like to say, a real metro system has curves. Um, we could put another stop in right here. Beautiful. It's super beautiful, so okay. Okay, and we will build another station right here at the big interchange. It is, yeah. So you can get your favorite city and and build your own metro system and improve on whatever nightmare of a public transit system your current municipality forces upon you. Well, that's not gonna work. All right, because it doesn't like the extreme increase in elevation I'm doing. Yeah, you don't have to build in on Ottawa. You could do your own city. And in fact, there's quite a lot of quite a lot of Euro cities that have been made for the game. Exclusively about well, in one of my earlier attempts, I built a metro station right next to the Prime Minister's residence, which is this house here. I built a built a large metro station right here, and ran it directly to his office. Um, okay, let's bring you back down to 5 elevation. Could put this. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Mark likes that. Could put that right here. All right, so how much is this all going to cost us? $500,000. We are spending a lot of money on Orleans. It's far more money that being spent on Orleans than I feel comfortable with. But I'm hoping Orleans public transit will pay off big time. Because surely the people want to get the hell out of Orleans. Oh, there's actually a nice clear shot through the middle here. It's probably something like a power line runs through there. Hmm. Or we could come up here, but the weight of the population is more here-ish. Well, that would be quite the metro line. All right, well, let's try our terminus here-ish. Yeah, and we can bring that to here. Oh, I need my crossover. Okay, stick another station in right here. And if you build on top of a house, you have to compensate the owners of the house to the tune of a lot of money, like $1 million per house you bulldoze. Can I scooch through here? Oh, sure can. All right, let's build a metro station in the middle of this park. Now, how am I going to get out of here? Hmm. Through this area here and try to like wind my way through? This is all horrible, curvy stuff in here. Yeah, so this is a neighborhood of Ottawa called Orleans. It's a classic suburb. Maybe it would be better to come around here and then use this relatively straight and open section, because then I could come and sneak through here. Yeah, okay, let's do that. Although, if I follow this curvy bit, we're closer to the middle of where all the people live. I think I could sneak a train through that. Okay, so let's try doing that. So these trains I'm building here are all above grade. Yeah, they're elevated tracks. Okay, can put a bendy station in here. Mm, no, that's not very good. What if I put another station here? No, it doesn't like that at all. It'd be cool if there was a way to like just sort of bend existing track. Oh, there we go. That's much better. Okay. So, how do I get through to this nice open section here? Could have a sharp curve in the line. There we go. And then we could have in at grade station right here in this park. Save on costs a little bit. Actually, can I? No. Back to elevated? No, it doesn't want to let me through. What if we do a little check section of cut and cover? No. Also doesn't want to let me through. Okay. Alright, well, probably not worth the tiny savings. So let's go back to above ground station. We'll stick a station in here. And a station in here. Because that's going to be where, actually, that station, we're going to have the 10 above. Well, oh, what if I can do just 5 above? And maybe I can get away with at grade stations between the highway and save big money that way. Okay, the 2 feeder routes for Orleans. Um, how many millions is all of this? 891 million. So we've used up nearly a third of our starting capital. Right. Can I get away with that? And that. Should probably put a stop right at West Orleans. Built something in between there. Okay, this stop is going to have to be elevated. For the transfer point. Okay, but then we're gonna come down to be at grade around here. Yeah, I don't believe the game models existing bus stuff though. Is this going to be enough room to make it over the overpass? There we go. That makes it over the overpass. Okay. Can do that. And then connect. Great. Oh, too steep. I could just move the station a little further back. Maybe put you over here. I think, because I think, because I think people will like just walk across the highway, and that's that's fine. The game doesn't model that as being a problem. Do I need to elevate this further? Mm, could push that station back just a little further. Building at grade gives me pretty steep discounts on the track costs, which is why I'm going through the trouble. Okay. Gotta add a crossover there. What's this all gonna cost me? $1 billion. That leaves me another 2-ish billion to play with. Not too bad. And this whole section here, we're not going to bother building a stop for these chumps. Nice. You on your way out to there. And then we can have... let's not go over that water feature. I mean, between the highway would be Seems like a perfectly reasonable choice. Does not want to go in a straight line though. Maybe I'll put a weird. Yeah, it's because I'm offset. I put a weird at grade station there. Oops. I built a heavy metro station, not a light metro one. Intersects the tracks. There, okay. A little awkward in that section, but got us there. And then I don't actually want a stop there. It was just to be able to build a nice straight section. Of at grade rail. And probably going to need to elevate to get over this bit. Okay, so now we're coming to downtown. What makes sense? What's this here? Montreal Road. Maybe we put the train right down Montreal Road through Vanier. And then follow Rideau Street downtown. Sure, let's go with that. And I could conceivably put feeder lines in here at some point. Let's put a station right here. Yeah. But I'll wait a little bit before I do that though. Because things are already getting a bit expensive. Uh, put another stop in here. Maybe a stop here. Yeah, yeah, and nice and nice and simple to come up Montreal Road. Maybe a station right about here. You can curve the station slightly. I definitely want a station here-ish because that's close to this big cluster. Hey there, Kaladin. I decided to follow your suggestion. We're gonna bring in people from Orleans. So I did two feeder lines onto a trunk line. We're running the trunk line up this main road. We're gonna bring it into downtown. Though I think in downtown we're gonna follow Laurier. Well, it's the main branch of the happy dude. You know, these could be his fingers, you know? He's just holding his hands out. And we're already at $1.5 billion of metro construction, so the happy dude plan will need to wait a little bit to come to full construction. Uh, Maybe another stop here. And I think when we get to the river, we'll kind of swing up a bit and follow Laurier instead as we come downtown. Because that'll be a straight shot through downtown, and it brings us directly to a lot of the big work clusters. And Maybe we could use the station to thread the needle through here. Stations can't do that much needle threading, but maybe if I start the station a little further back. Station have to start it like right about there. Okay, so back we go. No, no, make sure you're actually connected. Okay. We'll build another light rail station right next to the Russian embassy. I'm sure they won't mind. Yeah, like basically, this is the Russian embassy right here. Basically, right on top of the embassy grounds. We'll surely be fine with that. There won't be any protests. Okay. Put you right next to there. I'm switching over to worker view because I want to make sure I'm building my stations as close to the work clusters as I can. Flips that building. Yeah, this is another good sized cluster of spots here. Yeah, right at Bank Street. Oops, excuse me. Oh, sorry about that. Just had some Father's Day wishes coming in, so that's nice. Right. So, do I want to make like a north-south feeder line for work, maybe? I do want to get something out to the university. And we have one more work cluster over here I want to get to. How many billions are we at now? Nearly $2 billion of construction costs. You start to understand the problems of building a metro system playing this game. Uh, so if I keep going across this lower, because we could just kind of keep going straight through out to here, which is a big work area. It's kind of funny. This area here is Tunney's pasture, and it's a very large series of government offices. Um, but it's quite surprisingly not a very big work spot or work dot. It should be larger than that. There's quite a few residents here. If I push the line all the way out to here-ish, would probably be good. Ooh, could I save a lot of money by building at grade stations in here? Let's see if we can get away with it. There's one there. Try to put another one here. And maybe another one here. And then if I could get all the way out there, that would be nice. And then the, at least for now, endpoint over there. Okay. So we'll still have our raised tracks through this last section of downtown. Out to here. And we'll come back down to at grade. Out to here-ish. I could put a at grade station in here, right? Seems cruel to have the train come through, but not even give people a station. Put a stop there. So you can come out to there. Yeah, and I think in here I still have to do elevated tracks just to get over the all the little bits of housing, all the bits of road, I guess. I wonder if this will work. No, track loop slope too steep. I think we'll just have to accept that we're gonna have to pay for elevated track through this section. Okay, this station is gonna have to move. It's a big savings on the stations if I can get away with putting them at grade. Okay, and that's my terminus. We'll add crossover here. How are we looking on costs? $2.1 billion. Wait, that's not my terminus. That's my intended terminus. Okay, but we should be able to build this section at grade. Which will allow us to cut costs significantly. We could probably get away with another at grade station in here somewhere. Perhaps right there. The tracks will need to be elevated. 60 kilometers, and then no, you can't do it. Okay, well, what if the station was like over here? That could work. Okay. And then no. Okay, what if we did cut and cover under this section here? Hmm. Then we're intersecting the correct track. Intersecting the road. All this might be a lot simpler if I just accept building an elevated station in here. All right, and then there. And that's the true terminus. That's the true terminus. Okay. Where are we at on cost? 2.2 billion. So we have a big long east-west line. And what about a north-south line? Something to capture the Carlton. I mean, something very close to the actual true line would potentially work. Okay. Let's try to get away with a at grade station here. It's ironic because these buildings here are the actual is the actual train light rail station that's in the on the university campus. But it's blocking my light rail construction in game. Um, okay. Maybe we could, because there's that cluster of, it's like more work all along Bank Street and even right across the hall. So what if we swung around? Kind of swing across to Lansdowne and come up like that. This is all quite resident heavy in here as well. Well, I'm sure a lot of these residents would just walk to work. Yeah, and then we'll make a line going all the way up Bank Street. Okay. Mm, yeah, train comes about here. And we can use this station to account for this modest curve in the road here. Station here. I definitely want it to. Oh, right. The existing station is not going to like that. Maybe we can do extra tall, an extra tall station. Mm, do I dare cross the river into Gatineau? Of course we dare. We will dare to be bold. Boldly go where no Ottawan has gone before. Okay. Maybe train can come over to here. Just bulldoze the old mill. Ooh, look at that. We can build right over top of the factory. But in but we pay for it by having this building here get in the way to the tune of $3.9 million. And that's just so nice. Is that worth the cost? What if I did a cut and cover station here? We gave Hall the extravagant cut and cover treatment. Hmm. I might also just be able to get away with a at grade station along the river. Do like an at grade station here and here. Which might later allow for expansion into Gatineau. Let's try the cost cutters at grade stations here and here. The Alexandra Bridge gets in the way. What are we looking at in terms of cost? 2.69 billion. Make sure we got that there. Did I build the crossover over here? You bet I didn't. Okay. All right, there's our quite elaborate metro network. Let's commit it. And start planning the routes. Can call this one the east-west line. Let's call it Confederation. We'll make it red. It starts here. It's quite the beast of a line, this one. Big long chunk where it does nothing. And then all the way here for the terminus. Okay. It's quite the monster route. Okay. Confirm. Now, yeah, we're going to need a lot of trains. Have the maximum number of trains. Buy 18 trains, I guess. Okay, we're gonna need more trains. Buy more trains. Say 100 million on trains. At peak, we will have trains every 6 minutes. Medium demand, trains every 11 minutes, and then the low demand periods, trains every 22 minutes. Okay. New route. What about the north-south line? What should we call that one? Let's call it the NCR line, for National Capital Region line. NCR RCN. Okay. We'll start at shoot, I didn't why I hate that it doesn't let you switch the train type after you've selected it. All right. Again, the NCR National Capital Region or Région Nationale Capitale or RCN line. Régions Capitale Nationale, yeah, it would be RCN, yeah. Oh, whoops. No, you only want one of these. Okay, confirm changes. Maximum number of trains per line. We're gonna need more trains. Spend another 35 million on trains. Peak time, I want a wait time of around like 5 minutes. So even more trains, please. Medium demand time, sure, 9 minutes, and then low demand time, 15? Yeah, we're gonna want to get the uni students into halls so they can do their underage drinking. All right, and let's figure out names for the feeder. Get our feeder lines in Orleans set up. So we got light metro line. What do we call this? Oh, trying to think of a good Franco Ontario a name I could give it. Let's call it the Monfall. Monfall. It's nowhere near the Monfall Hospital, but Monfall is a good French Canadian name. Okay, confirm changes. At frequency, I'm gonna need more trains. Yeah, that seems okay. And this new line can be let's just call it the Orleans line. Orleans. I'll have it be blue. There. You should be included. Okay, we're gonna need to buy more trains. couple more trains. There we go. Spent almost all our money on almost all our money. Hopefully this network actually makes us some money. All right, let's watch all of our money evaporate. Yeah, money is. Oh, look at that. We're making. Oh, the uni students. That's actually quite a bit of money to be making overnight. Also, let's up our fares to $4. Okay, I'm encouraged that we're almost breaking even overnight. That's like fairly encouraging. Did I even make money? We made money at 3 a.m.? This seems very promising. And at 4 a.m. Incredible. Shuttling underage uni students to Hull is highly profitable. Okay, here's the real question. 6 a.m. worker time. Do we make money? Okay, that's some good revenue there. Actual percentages of people taking transit. Okay, we are capturing a good chunk of Orleans. We're getting a decent amount of these far western bits of the city coming into work too. Look at this! 19% profit margin. This is all light rail, yeah. How is capacity doing? I don't know. How do I see that? Is it under routes? No. Ah, here we go. So we can hold up to 800 people on these trains. Are any of the trains like filling up? Ah, okay. Gives us a warning if we get there. Ooh, we're losing money in the afternoons, but look at that. From 6 a.m. to noon, we were profitable. Not bad at all. And at 1 p.m. we lose money. Well, we actually made some money overnight. Yeah, we were marginally profitable between 3 and 4 a.m. It's probably like uni students coming home from the bars in Hull. Actually, we ended up making a very small profit at 1 p.m. Incredible. We've made a profitable metro system. Inconceivable, even. And fares aren't outrageously high. I've got it to $4. So if we go to demand stats, workers, yeah, we captured most of the universities using well, a good chunk of the universities using transit. Ah, okay. So Gatineau people are still driving. But if I extended this out to Gatineau, that would be a pretty good chunk of more riders. What about Carleton? Okay, so Carleton still mostly driving. Most of it, oh, actually, well, of that chunk. So second rush hour, highly profitable as well. 3 p.m., 4 p.m., 5 p.m., 6 p.m., 7 p.m. Yeah, all making very healthy margins. Right. So who's not taking? Yeah, okay. So we've got a good chunk of workers over here in Hull who aren't taking transit. The far reaches of Gatineau also are driving, and they will probably take us a while to get there. Okay. The second north-south line through here might be feasible. Yeah, a lot of those people choose to walk. Ooh, these people are all over the place. So where are commuters coming from? So quite a few of the people in here are commuting, which tells me maybe I should build a feeder line into the main line for out west somewhere. Similar to what I did, yeah, and then people who live over here. Hull, or Gatineau again, Gatineau again. So it seems like an expansion into here would probably be pretty good. Maybe if I looped up around like that. Okay. I'm just going to let the day tick over. Okay. So revenue per day, expenses per day. Yeah, $5 parking is an absolute joke. There's no way parking downtown Ottawa costs you $5. It's more like $25. Parking in Ottawa is ridiculously expensive. So if I was to plot another, no, for the day, your daily parking. Probably the lowest cost, highest reward expansion for me would probably be to come up into here. So let's just see what would an expansion into this section of Hull cost me, or even actually the plateau. So we could have a line. Yeah, line coming up here into the plateau would be pretty good. Oh yeah, that's true. We can, seeing as we're making cash, although we're not making cash at midnight. the past hour. Yeah, we start making money again at about 3 and 4 a.m. So, right. Though, do I continue into my beloved Hull, or do we go into the land of darkness that is Gatineau? This would probably be massively profitable to expand into Gatineau. Because, much like Orleans, everyone wants to get out of Gatineau. Um, let's pin this. Unless you visit the casino, yeah. Well, not much good comes out of the casino either, I don't think. um, hmm. I placed these poorly for future expansion. I should have put this station here, straddling this. It would have made it easy to have a connecting line that comes out. Although we could have another light metro line. Okay, but stop thinking about going into Hull. We want to expand into Gatineau. Because this area up here is likely going to be much more profitable for us. Is it worth building a station here? Probably not. But we could build an at-grade station right in here. Mm, now that is apparently okay. Okay. What about the airport? Yeah, we could expand down to the airport. The main reason I'm thinking about expanding into Gatineau is it's a bit of a similar logic as to why we did Orleans. Because these people have a horrible, horrible commute into the city where they have to work. So if we hook them into general transit, we're still making money, right? Yes, we're still making a. Oops, no, not that one. We're still making good money. We should have pretty high transit adoption. People choosing to take transit since their commutes are so horrific. Yeah, could do elevated stations kind of inside the neighborhoods here. Just where's the sort of it's kind of the mean of the scatter plot here. Sort of like so. A little further north. Oops. And I'm coming up from here. Maybe like that. I don't know if we'll go that far east, but it's roughly where I'd like to go. Although all the people are over here. There's a good chunk of people here, though. Which is more, this or that? Probably through here is more people. So we come up through this way. Then do we just follow this road? Is there a good through road? Yeah, this road here looks promising. We'll come up. What street is this? This is Boulevard Grébert. Okay, so we come up Grébert. Come up Grébert, and then we can go across using Boulevard Séréné. Okay. So we'll come up Grébert up to Séréné, and then we'll follow Séréné east to about the Gatineau Airport, I guess. Do people work at the Gatineau Airport? Not really. Nobody works at the Gatineau Airport. Very few people work in Gatineau in general. Might be kind of fun to create a giant loop line. Connect Orleans to this fire point. Some crazy talk. Right, so let's get back to building our tracks. So yeah, we said we wanted to come along here. But we can build at grade in here. Water's 3x cost at grade. If I go to five, water is only 2x cost. So maybe we can well, I'm going to need to use elevated to get across here anyway. So we'll do something like that, and then to kind of try to save our Prengi no Su as we come in here. Yeah, show me residence. And right around here, let's well, they're still talking about building a bridge around here somewhere. What is it? Out here? No, I think it's around here. They're talking about building a bridge across here. But, you know, Ottawa and talking about building another bridge is a tale as old as time. And they will always find a reason why the bridge should not be built. So Um, well, maybe I could get away with a at grade light metro station in here. It's building the metro stations are very expensive. So he can find a way to build them at grade. And maybe we could stick a station in here. Just as we cross the river. Curve the line to avoid all those buildings. Is that gonna work? Hey. Yeah, insufficient funds again. Yeah, but then you don't want to build that. Maybe it would just be a lot simpler to build it all at elevated. And where was that street I talked about? Saline. There we go. And I have our stop up here, right around Saline. And then you would come around like this. Okay. Nope, they don't want to do that. There we go. Sacrifice a little bit of speed. Maybe if I push this station back a little bit, it would work better. Or we could even do the Kirby station. Have you right about there. That's to Kirby. Can we sneak through here? That's way too sharp. Oh, okay. Train basically stops, but we can do it. There. Nice and ugly, but it works. So it costs us $407 million. So a few days of revenue. And that adds what? One, two, three, four. What does most of this cost actually? So track. Yeah, that elevated track. Well, I didn't build much at grade, so that explains it. Stations at grade. Yeah, those elevated stations. But this is all too dense to get away with at grade. I was able to save quite a lot of money out here. So almost all of these stations are at grade. Um, but having a 0.3 on your cost for your station is a, is a pretty big saving. But unfortunately, in here, there's just a few too many intersections for me to get away with the alternating at grade and not at grade. So I'd have to do elevated. Although out here, I could probably do. I mean, it turns you into a ball of fury. I'm fine with it. It doesn't upset me too much. Well, maybe. Hmm. Maybe we could curve down like this. Yeah, that's what I did. So I built the stations at level and then put the rail through elevated to get over the little intersections. Mm, this coming down through here is somewhat attractive. There's a bit of a nice open section. Because I could put a station in here. This is some open chunks up here. But there's a lot of roads intersecting everything here. And actually probably the center of gravity population wise is up here-ish. But maybe we can find a way to squeeze in at grade stations in here. Oops. What did I just click through there? Time of day is at 6 a.m. Yeah, it's the Confederation line that's seeing all the travel. Yeah, but we're not even coming. We're not really coming all that close to filling out our trains. Yeah, so I think we're fine with light rail. Ooh, actually, what if I came up here? We find a way to get at grade stations in here. That's probably too tight. Could put a elevated station at a somewhat jaunty angle like so. And then at grade station can probably get away with putting one there. Here's another kind of stretch. Yeah, I got one over there. Might be able to get away with one here. Right. Let's build our elevated tracks. Angle was too jaunty for this station. Uh, Undo. I want to kind of curve around this slightly. There, that'll work. And go over to there. Okay, go over to there. There we go. Bring you up to there-ish. Bring you out to there-ish. There you go. And then we can hook into our at-grade station. Yeah. It's quite significant savings when you can build the stations at grade. Okay. Let's see, where could I try to sneak in another at grade station? Might be able to get away with one here. And you can even do the tracks at grade in this section. This will be tricky. Probably an at grade station down here-ish. And the tracks will need to be elevated. There can get you at least 70 kilometers an hour. No, maybe not great. Hmm. Once I get through here, I can actually have quite a few sections at grade. It should be nice and cheap. Get those tracks built at grade. We'll some kind of windy tracks in here, but hmm. But what is that? Is that really going to be worth it in terms of cost savings? Should I? There's quite a few people living in here. It's just very slow if I do that. If I instead had an elevated station, or maybe even just elevated track. Can you have an at-grade station cross a train track? No. A street? No. Okay. I suppose that makes sense. Maybe at-grade station right here. And then we have elevated tracks to get to it. Oh. So, wait, yes, we can thread the needle between these two houses. Come on. There we go. No! The last second I wiggled the mouse slightly too much and there. Inches of clearance. Let's bring you just over the road. Then we'll switch back to at grade track. There. For the significant cost savings. All right, so now how do we get through to this lovely at grade section in here? Well, we can do elevated track over this section of the river. And then where this is probably the easiest section here to get through. All right, now we do at grade track for everything in between. And we can add an at grade station right here. And maybe we put another at grade station out here is our terminus. There's just one little section here. Train over. Well, this is all planning. Ooh, do we go all the way out to this place? Do we do the unimaginable and connect Orleans to Gatineau? How expensive is this? Is all this, by the way? It's really not that bad. 679 million for a pretty significant extension of our metro system. Yeah, are there any workplaces in here? Some, but not really. Mostly going to be about bringing residents in. So we can build a little section of elevated track there. Go back to at grade track. Is there a good reason to what? Connect Orleans to Ottawa? Or to Gatineau? Not really. It would just be cool. I'd like to get this little. Oh, this is my ego project. The ridiculous expansion of, or the frankly absurd expansion of public transit all the way out to this part of Gatineau. Uh, Probably a single at grade light rail station in here would be okay for all these people. It's relatively central. Wouldn't take it be that far for them to walk. And we just need one little section of elevated rail. Some little houses here. Okay, you go there. There. So how much is this Ludicrous expansion. $830.6 million. I mean, so long as we're doing crazy things here. And allegedly, people live on Petrie Island, which I don't really believe, but apparently they do. At least the game thinks they do. Right, so this costs $830 million. If I build the absurd ring road transit thing, how much is this going to add to the cost? You could even add station here and a station there to link up the two networks. This chunk here will need to be elevated. And we will need a crossover here. So that little... Oh, it only added like $100 million. It's just gonna take a few months of revenue for us to make up that cash. Could take $100 million bond. It's got 275-ish million. Oh, our margins have actually gone up. As more people learn about the benefits of public transit. Realistically, I could probably carve all of this off. And yeah, is there a good reason to do this Orleans to Gatineau connection? Probably not. Transit Times, Ottawa Transit Authority announces ambitious expansion plans. Okay, back to business. Could try raising fares by an extra quarter. Milk all the silly servants for every last penny they have. Let's see if we can't make oh, more more periods of the day profitable. Keep watching all this money come in. So unsurprisingly, we lose money on the overnights. They're really not that much money. It's quite a profitable section network we've built here. Who knew just giving people in Orleans Transit would make the system pay for itself. Orleans pay for everything. Well, the next expansion would be to make it out to Canada and make them also pay for everything. There's our 1 a.m. transit people. Nobody takes the train at midnight, which is interesting. So the charging an extra quarter net me any additional money? Oh, look at that. We're actually making money overnight. Yeah, okay. So 48-hour period. Yeah, charging an extra 25 cents a fare. Made our overnights marginally profitable. And it seems to have increased. Yeah, we're at $4.25 a ticket. And yeah, we're making pretty good money right now. What was the cost of my construction project again? 961 million. It would be nice if you could designate sections that you want to build of your blueprints. Because I kind of wish I could build just this section up to here. Um, but that's not a thing. Yeah, I need about $1 billion in the bank before we can do that. The loan is just too small to be worth taking. So when did I upped it by a quarter. So 66.8, 67, 69. Nice. Yeah, this is when I upped it up the fare price by 25 cents. Pretty big increase in our revenue. All right, so I think we'll keep it at 425 a fare. And just keep watching that money roll in. It'll take us a while to get more cash. So where do the people who work here live? Quite a few of them live in Gatineau and commute to the airport. So if I do make this large expansion, should start to see, well, and then later expanded a line down to the airport. Hmm. Revenue dropped back again. Maybe I'm charging too much. That can't be. This is all some pretty dense population stuff in here. Expanding all the way to here-ish would probably be pretty good. It's going to be a matter of letting this run out, though. So 67, 66 million. So the 69 million seems to have just been a blip. Maybe we're charging too much. It's discouraging people from taking transit. Also, I do want to actually build some more stuff. I wonder how much just this little branch expansion here would cost. Bring these people across into Orleans, so then they could hop on this line. It's not like a ton of people, but I'm sure they would almost all take transit if we had that connection. Hmm. All right, so we're currently on day 20. I'm gonna wait until midnight, and then I'm gonna drop fares by 25 cents, and we'll see if that if we actually make more money by charging less. Yeah, look at that. We've captured a pretty good chunk of a decent chunk of the of Orleans. That's helping to fund things. Good amount of Westboro also taking transit. Lots of people in the core just choosing to walk. Oh, shoot. Okay. So, day 21, we. Alright, I need to actually pay attention to the time of day here. So I want to have a nice and neat endpoint at which to compare what the impact of charging various fares has. Okay, just a few more hours till midnight. We're about halfway to funding my extremely ambitious expansion plans. All right, right before midnight. Let's actually cut fares down to 375. Oop. Okay, well, news is gone. And we'll see what that does to our overall revenues. We'll let this run for like, I don't know, 2 days. Oh, you can change the color of things. So yesterday we made 67.6 million. Operating cost stays steady. Lots of people going there. Do, do, do. Okay. Day is ticked over. What are the results? So we made 63, call it 64 million. So yeah, we lost money by cutting the fares that much. I'll let it run for another day, just in case it takes time to kind of recalculate pop intentions. We still made money, but just less. It doesn't show you total ticket sales though. So I don't know how dynamic the dynamic the like plotting is. Let's see, if I was to expand into this area here, how would I do it? The southern chunk of the city. Maybe a line like this? Or possibly, yeah, maybe coming through here, or scratch that, coming through here somehow. Could hook into Wilson. Well, or perhaps Powell. Could almost be an at-grade station through here. Yeah, we'd probably use this street here. What street is that? Is that Clegg? No, Bower. Ah, here's Clegg. You come across Clegg, that cuts right through. Or maybe Hazel. Hazel would allow a connection to Ottawa's third university. It's a pretty straight shot into Powell. Oh, and we're on a new day. How did we do on fares? Because I think day 21 was the last day of 425 a day fare. 63, and then the following day. Okay, so maybe there is a bit of a delay. And the following day we did 65.8. Let's see if day 24, if revenue goes up. What other fantasy expansion plots could we do? All right, so if I was to continue the Heron Road line to the airport, could be a fairly straightforward affair. Coming along here, could even have an at-grade station in the park for some significant savings. Come along here. Could have another at-grade station in here for more big savings. And if we even came down through here. This could be an upgrade station, and we possibly catch a lot of these people. Come down this way, do elevated tracks to get over this. Thread the needle through here. It's a little too fine a needle to thread. And that could work. And we do another, these can be at grade station, at grade station, at grade station. At grade station around there. Continue through here. You put an at grade station. And then to the airport. The station in here. Yeah, so you would have a station there connecting that. Or actually, maybe we would hook you up to Powell instead. So you would have a station here. Chroma Class Clegg. Another station in here. Come out. I don't know if people will walk across the river. I'm not sure how it could potentially have a station there and then loop you down. Coming in through here looks pretty nice. This is a relatively open spot. Alright, so it's day 26 now. Day 27, I was charging $425. Then we switched over to $375. So immediately we lost money. We jumped up to 65 million, down to 64, up to 65. So charging less made us less, which might sound obvious. $5 is where you start losing people to walking. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't really seem to have made too much of a difference. Station here. Down through here. Station here. Oops. Hmm. Put a station there. I mean, that might capture a chunk of these people. Maybe even kind of loop this way with the station in here-ish. Maybe capture more of these folks to get onto the train. Yeah, it says it's hurt our margins a fair bit. Because day 21 is when I dropped the fares. Yeah, we haven't had a single day where we matched our previous 67. So let's bring fares back up to $4. So how close am I to being able to afford my foolish expansion? Oh, we're getting close-ish. Could take $100 million bond to fund our crazy expansion plans. Although no sense in doing that until we're a bit closer. Right. So if we were, I think we would continue along this road out to about here. If I was to do a Confederation line expansion. Some at grade construction opportunities in here. Call this the purple plan. Maybe a station in here comes through here. Just trying to find the mean population mean here. Something like that. Hmm. Right. The 27th was the kind of a half and half day. We didn't. I instituted the higher fare at the midpoint of the day. So I could use red to show your expansions. You would come through here. I'd probably try to get away with a at grade stop right about there. Maybe another attempted at grade stop around here. The question is, do I loop through this neighborhood on our way to Canada? Because if I do, like, what if we have you come all the way through here, and you finish. Hmm. Yeah, maybe that's a good solution. Because then I would just need to build a feeder line onto onto the expanded Confederation line. Yeah, so you could kind of go out to there. Commuters celebrate as NCR RCN line sees record ridership. Ooh, back to business. All right. So then, purple line would want to kind of intercept like that, or maybe like so. So let's try to make reality match with our sort of line here. Well, in here, it could. Well, all of this in here is lovely at grade stuff, so we could put a station there. We'd need to sort of come in here. Maybe be able to get away with an at-grade station around here. It would take some fiddling around. And probably an at-grade station in there roundabouts. And then a terminus here-ish. And then on the way out this way, could have that grade station here, another at grade station there. Although with red line coming through, well, maybe we can have the intersection of these two lines be here. So you come up like so. So we can enjoy a lovely, cost-effective at-grade station there. That's when I started charging $4. Yeah, made us a little bit more money. So we could come up like that. I do think it would be worthwhile to get into here. So we probably end up with an elevated station here. Probably do an at-grade station there. Then we can follow this. Maybe another at-grade over there. For sure an at-grade there. Although yeah, I think we would loop the line. To take advantage of this nice open area. So we'd have an at-grade station over there, and you probably come around like this. Can thread the needle through here. There's some chunks of people over here who aren't getting served. And actually, is this the more population heavy area? Hard to say. It might be more population heavy, but it's also harder to get transit in here. Like we could. There's a bit of a corridor in here. Seems. Did anything happen? I've just been kind of penciling in rough plans, bumping fares up to $4. Seems to have kept revenue about the same. It's bumped our profit margins. And yeah, so good. So this is a pretty rough, nice area in here with lots of good at grade potential. Current profit margin is 27. So all time it's 27%. Past 48 hours it was 27%. Yeah, 28. All time is 28. Yeah, well, I think Ottawa just doesn't have the population to warrant it. Oh, also, it's nearly 3 o'clock. I'm probably gonna have to stop imminently. Uh, oh, excuse me. Yes, I do need to stop just about now. So, mm, I was able to. So if I did elevated stops, we'd be able to come right through the middle, which is probably more worthwhile rather than trying to pinch pennies with awkward pathing and at level stations. So we could do like one elevated stop here and maybe an at level terminus out here. You know, pinch a few pennies. Yeah, so this is our speculative Confederation line expansion. This would be the Canada feeder. Potential South Ottawa expansions. likely the expansion out to the airport would be the best one to do. Construction costs are still quite a bit more. We'll need around 1 billion in cash to realistically build this expansion and get it off the ground. So probably once I get to around 900 million in accumulated funds, I'll take a loan for 100 million. So it'll just um, get us over the limit, and then that'll give us the cash we need to buy the additional trains this is going to need. How are we doing on the actual train capacity? I know the trains are filling up. If I keep making all these feeder lines into Confederation, we might cap this out. So are any of these trains even coming close to full? Even at like peak rush hour, the busiest train was about 400 people. What about the end of the day? Uh, 1 p.m., 2 p.m. Okay, 3 p.m., second rush hour. Oh, okay. One train nearly capped out. Yeah, so we did nearly cap out one train. So if I expand these feeders into the main line, we might start running into capacity issues. Might. Um, what about the green line? Do you? I'll have to watch the green line another day. But I have to go. So we are going to save this. We actually have a file worth saving. We'll call it Ottawa Stream 01. Yeah, we'll not talk about the last attempt and what happened to it. But yeah, not a bad start. Got two little feeder lines in Orleans. They feed into a large trunk line. Brings people through Gloucester, through the core of Vanier, through using Laurier. We cut across. Quarter cost downtown. Come out onto Wellington. Is this Wellington? What street is this? To Scott. We follow Scott, which is actually where the current line goes. So the existing train line follows this route. Onto Scott, coming along like this, and then it finishes here. Although the IRL train line stops here, so we already go further than the existing transit system. And out east, the train stops around here, but it comes up here more, and it does not go into Hull. Nor is there a transit stop right next to the Parliament buildings. Anyway, that's gonna be it for today. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll do more of this at some point in the future. Have a good one, everybody.